Hello, hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily News Show, the news show powered by ohmTown.com. Go over to ohmTown.com, become a citizen, and you get more functionality and access and stuff like that. But be sure to follow us here on Twitch. That's where we do the show live every day at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. on the weekends, and there's 6 other shows. A 7th one is in the works. Follow us so that you know when we kick off a show. It's usually we kick it off and that's when we start doing the show, but you can always catch past episodes. There's over 1,000 total in the network, but 890 are ohmTown Daily News shows. It's over at youtube.com/ohmTown. Follow us over there, and the podcast. All 7 of the podcasts are live. You can download them. And if you're in chat or you get the chance to come by and hang out, you can actually hit ! show notes, and it will display the latest episode's show notes. As well as if you hit !pod, it will post all of the podcasts that we have and links straight to the Apple podcasts. But if you have a podcatcher that can catch pods elsewhere, it is in syndication. So go over and check it out. That said, all of the articles are posted to the VOD and will be in the show notes as well. I am Mayor Watt. All around me is the sentient AI from the future. And everything is brought to you by ohmTown. So, welcome again to ohmTown Daily News Show. Not sure what's happening in ohmTown, but a lot of news is getting aggregated, that's for sure. So we filter it all down to about 10 articles that we find interesting, and we hope that you find interesting. And it's usually a broad spectrum of things other than politics. We shy away from having political news highlighted in our show because you can get that elsewhere, and we're not really, political aspirants, although I may say something snarky from time to time. But one of the jobs of the co-host, sentient AI from the future, is to keep me from, keeping an eye on me is what the sentient AI is doing silently, apparently. Nobody gets to see their visualizer function. Yeah. So let's get into today's articles. I think it's going to be fun, very broad spectrum. I mean, we talk about cars and solar storms. The articles for today, though, are going to be Spongebob witnessed the solar storm, Howler Monkeys dropping from the trees, a new pizza capital of America, not the bees. Hold on, I need to turn something up. A remote kill switch in case of invasion. Never thought I'd have to say that out loud. Liquid death is killing it. Animal takes over town. PC gaming is growing. Free chicken nuggets. And a Mazda CX-5 hybrid. I would have said this before the ohmTown intro, but I vamped. And I should have just followed the process. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have a script. Yeah, I vamp everything, and that's what I do every day. In fact, I talk to people about technology, society, and science, typically referred to as STS, Science, Technology, and Society. I help people kind of deal with technology and its many facets, big and small, So if you have questions, throw them in chat. You can even send an email to mayor@ohmtown.com. Let's get going, though. Sound good? Yay. All right. First article. It's over in the Mobile channel. The music died again. I don't understand. Every once in a while, things go really, really wonky. I'll fix this real quick. Maybe. We'll see. It's definitely not my fault. But actually, Hold on a second. There might actually be a problem. No, it's not a problem. So I don't understand what's going on. Let's do this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So we have background music and it's licensed, but it's basically DOA. So I'm just going to kill it and we'll do this sans atmosphere. Anyway, yeah, I'll start dancing. Oh, no, that's horrible. I shouldn't have done that. So, machines at the bottom of the ocean witnessed the recent solar storm. Compasses at the bottom of the ocean wobbled as a massive solar storm hit Earth last week, giving the instruments 2 miles under the sea a jolt of magnetic shock and awe, a phrase that I hate saying because I know the actual inspiration of that phrase. So, all you tankies out there, congratulations. You have something in mainstream discussion. So Isaac Schultz over at Gizmodo.com put this article together. Machines at the bottom of the ocean witnessed the recent solar storm. A recent solar storm triggered auroras around the world, but as not really around the world in very specific locations up to halfway down towards the equator. But as millions watched the celestial display, its effects were also seen at the bottom of the ocean and anywhere really that cosmic particles could be blasted through every part of the earth. In caves there are various instrumentations that detected this as well, but this one comes to us by way of Isaac Schultz, again over at gizmodo.com. The compasses are managed by Ocean Networks Canada, a national ocean observatory hosted by the University of Victoria, according to Alex Slonemer, a scientific data specialist at the observatory. A daily check-in late March, or a month before the recent storm, turned up an anomaly in the reading. Now that's fascinating. Yeah, when they see a certain waveform come right before an earthquake, they can send out a warning. It's very rare that they move fast enough. But any amount of knowledge is better than none. So before we even got the cosmic onslaught, I guess the solar onslaught, not really cosmic, but solar onslaught, they had detected this. So they looked into whether it was potentially an earthquake, but that didn't make a lot of sense because the changes in the data were lasting for too long and currently at different locations. Then they looked into whether it was solar flare, as the sun has been active recently because we're heading towards the solar maximum. If not right now, it is. And that was the first anomaly, but the real drama only occurred last week when a significant solar storm arrived on Earth, causing some issues. And so they actually have an image of this. An image of this reading showing the duration of this. So May 9th to May 12th is the time, it's the scale of the data point, but it looks like it's 5:10 is when the forefront of the I guess the agitation is, and then it ends 12 hours later the next day. Oh, really? Yeah, so that's interesting. So what are they saying here? Because they're saying that they detected something prior, but they're not showing that data point. They're showing the actual solar storm. But I guess either way, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, interesting. So this magnetic shift actually was 82 feet beneath the ocean surface, so water apparently doesn't do much to the magnetic field. But I've never actually read anything about that. Like, does water impact the magnetic field? You would think that it would have metals in it that were ferrous that would actually mess with the magnetic field to some degree. Gotcha. It just flows. Yeah, it just flows, so it doesn't have any resistance really, and no real mass unless, well, en mass. Anyway, as Gizmodo reported last week, the storm caused radio blackouts across Asia and in parts of Africa and Europe, and caused some irregularities in the American power grid. In fact, I was speaking to somebody on the phone when their power grid went down, not in Florida. And they had been told later that in Texas at the same time, they had their power go out too. So interesting. This is pretty neat stuff. So I guess we need to, yeah, I can imagine it's going to continue. Let's keep going though. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. It's so hot in Mexico, howler monkeys are falling dead from the trees. It's sad, but at least 83 howler monkeys were found dead in the Gulf Coast state of Tabasco. Okay, it's in Tabasco, and it's really, really hot. It's a little on the nose, yeah. It's spicy. So I don't know if this video has anything to do with this. Does that look like a howler monkey? Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, the article is written by Mark Stevenson from the AP, but it's posted over at abcnews.go.com. And there's not really much to say about this. They don't have the temperatures listed here so far, do they? Yeah. Right? So at least 83 of the mid-sized primates known for their roaring vocal calls. So in Tabasco, they some arrived in critical conditions in dehydration and fever. They were limp as rags. It was heat stroke. Apparently it's really hot. When a local volunteer fire and rescue squad showed up with 5 of the creatures in the bed of their truck. Interesting. So by May 9th, at least 9 cities in Mexico had set temperature records, with Ciudad Victoria in the border state of how do you pronounce that? Oh, okay, Ciudad Victoria. But that's capitalized. So that's the name right there, right? Ciudad? Okay, in the border state of Tamaulipas, clocking in at 117 degrees Fahrenheit at 47 degrees C. And then below average rainfall just makes it worse. So there's a person here, Pozo is their last name. Where did they say their name higher up in the article? Yeah, I don't see it higher up. Maybe I skipped over it really fast. But a representative said that this is a sentinel species, referring to the canary in a coal mine effect, where one species can say a lot about the ecosystem. It is telling us something about what is happening with climate change. And that's kind of the no shit news at 8:24. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah, it's sad. And these literally, it's closer. A canary, it isn't the right analog. these are essentially like hairy humans, tiny hairy humans. Their biology is closer to ours than the canary. So when this large adaptive species is being racked by climate change, it is representative of what's coming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a species that can go out and protect itself and go and find food and water and forage and has communities and culture, and it's not just a bird that's just flying around. So I don't know. They were teaching each other. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were doing first aid, and others were teaching how to do it. Yeah, what a trip. So let's keep going. Though the next article is over in ohmTown Daily. There's a new pizza capital of America, and it isn't where you think it is. Where do you think it is? Did you already read it? Because that's Chicago. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like can't be New York, can't be Chicago. So, a city in Connecticut will boldly proclaim from the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday that it has the best pizza in the country. National Pizza Day, I guess, is this Wednesday? Is that true? Monica Sager over at Newsweek.com. Yeah, but I want pizza. All right. Well, maybe I'll get some pizza. Monica Sager. If I say it 3 times, yes. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Wait, that's Little Caesars. That's just pizza, pizza. But if you say pizza, 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 then a haunted pizza shows up. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Pizza. So, in a stunt to satisfy few and irritate many, a delegation from Connecticut will fly to the nation's capital this week to declare, with an assist from Congress, that New Haven is the pizza capital of the United States. The delegation, which will then storm the Capitol. I'm sorry. No. The delegation is being organized by Connecticut Rep Rosa DeLauro. A Democrat who has long represented New Haven and the surrounding area in the House of Representatives. New Haven has the best pizza in the country, and it's not even close, DeLauro said in a statement to Newsweek. Ask anyone from Connecticut, and they'll tell you Connecticut pizza, or a pizza, as we call it, is hands down, no contest, the best pizza in America. I would order it just because of the way it's shaped, which is hot mess. Yeah. Yeah. When somebody says, you need to get in shape, this is the shape I'm currently in. Exactly. Oh, man. But this is the kind of pizza that comes out of an uni, right? You, yeah. Yeah. This says it's an image from Sally's in Connecticut. All right. So, New Haven, a coastal city of 140,000 people, best known as the home of Yale University, um, is known for a unique type of pizza that brings in foodies on pilgrimages. Pilgrimage? From across the country. Locals call it a pizza. Oh, a beats. It's pronounced a beats. Apparently, yeah, a beats. I guess that's a nod. It says a nod to the dialect of early Italian immigrants who settled the city. But I offer up that maybe it's a nod to that person handing out the graduation ceremony degrees. Yeah. I actually saw a picture of how that was provided. And I don't know if what I saw was what they really were handed or if it was a modified version of it, because the name was up above the actual phonetic spelling and they chose to say the phonetic spelling. Or if it was, they just got the phonetic pronunciation. Yeah. And honestly, you'd have to be a linguist to translate phonetic pronunciation cleanly, you know? Yeah, nobody does that.
The names.
Oh wow. There was a glitch in the matrix. All right. Well, anyway, we nailed this show. I just saw it. I just caught it. Anyway, so a pizza is a thin, or a Pete's is a thin crust, coal-fired Neapolitan take on the classic pie that originated in 1925 at New Haven's Frank. Is it Pepe Pizzeria
Yeah, I
Napolitana?
think so.
But Pepe is the meme on the internet has soured me to say. Anyway, and is now served at many other noted pizzerias in the area, like Sally's a Pizza or a Pete's, Sally's a Pete's,
No,
and
a
modern
beat.
a Beats. Sorry, a Beats. God, maybe we should redo this whole show and just start over. You know, you were silenced for a portion of it.
Oh, that might have improved it.
All right, we're gonna go on to the next article. So this next article is over in Four Wheel Tech. 18-wheeler carrying 15 million bees crashes in Maine, releases unknown number of flying monsters. That's a mischaracterization of bees. Bees are sweet. Bees are kind.
Yeah, we
Wasps,
need
on
to
the other
protect
hand,
the bees.
wasps can be could you know Thanos had the right idea if he would have just deleted wasps. I don't like wasps. I don't like wasps for one main reason though. When I'm taking a shower, I don't want to look up and see one staring at me from the air vent that it managed to crawl 25 feet through. Yeah. And then, like me and tequila shots, three more show up. Like, what the hell? Did you
Were
call
you
your
more
buddies?
offended that it showed up while you're taking a shower or that it showed up?
It was the giggling that really got me. So they say the author here says from Jalopnik says, "I hate insects, especially ones that fly. So you can imagine their displeasure at learning an 18-wheeler carrying about 15 million honeybees crashed and overturned on I-95 in Maine while being transported to pollinate blueberry fields in Washington County."
I
Well,
mean, I hope they were close to the blueberry fields.
yeah, be free.
Maybe they.
The only problem is that the queens probably are stuck because they're in the beehives, and so who knows what ended up happening. So the bees were on their way to pollinate blueberry fields in Maine, and now they could be everywhere. Andy Kalmowitz is not very calm about this. Um, it says, "Lucky for you and me, most of the 15 million flying monsters were contained within the trailer, which landed on its side, according to the AP. A spokesperson for the Maine State Police said that the goal was to save them. Unfortunately for first responders, they didn't realize the cargo hold was full of bees until firefighters went down the embankment to check for leaking fluid and found out, well, the hard way."
Oh
Um,
no.
Yeah. So that being said, the sting damage could be much worse, but temperatures in the 40s meant that the little sting. This person needs to realize that bees are almost an endangered species at this point. So we
Yeah.
need to embrace them. Have you hugged a bee today? Be
Well,
nice.
apparently the first responders did.
They got they got they got really good
Stung.
hugs. They got bee versions of hugs. Anyway, so the bee trucks that come to Maine typically carry around 400 colonies, each containing 30,000 to 45,000 bees. Cohen said the truck is actually a fraction of the 3 billion out-of-state bees that Maine receives each year to pollinate.
Oh my goodness. Did you know that this was a thing? I knew they
No,
were known for their blueberries, but I didn't know this part.
nope, I had no idea. Pretty cool. But also sad, that there aren't enough bees already in the state to support the various fields. Now I want to go up to blueberry fields in Maine to support the effort.
Should we bring some bees?
We'll bring some bees. We'll just let them loose in the mayoral motorcade.
That'll add some excitement to the driving experience.
We'll get there faster. The next article is over in Warcrafters. The world's largest chip maker could flip a kill switch and remotely disable its machines in the event of an invasion because, China. TSMC is the world's largest chip maker, and it produces a massive percentage of the world's advanced computer chips. And to, make sure that its economy is running, China is slowly taking over. Anyway, so what happens if there were to have? What happens if something were to happen in that part of the world to disturb? They're very cagey about saying this.
Yeah, like not saying
Yeah,
what
what I just got
country.
done saying. Yeah, China's going to invade Taiwan. Yeah, because supposedly it's supposed to go back to China. Yeah. Anyway, so what happens if something were to happen in that part of the world to disturb this chip making? I almost said chipmunking ability.
You
It'd
know,
be cat.
that could be disrupted too.
It'd be catastrophic, of course. But TSMC and its main machine supplier, Dutch company ASML, say the machines wouldn't fall into hostile hands. Yeah, as long as you have the ability to flip that remote switch. Depending on where it is, you kill the internet and you do signal jammers and you disable the ability to disable these devices. So I don't know. The best laid plans. Citing people close to the matter, Bloomberg reported that both TSMC and ASML have ways to disable the lithographic machines located in Taiwan. So
This is I don't know.
the article is over at PCGamer.com. Jacob Ridley is the author. The deck statement says that's one hell of a kill switch. I don't think this is the kill switch. I think this is just one of the devices, but I'm not sure which one it is. So let's see here. Yeah, they say that they can disable the lithographic machines located in Taiwan. The kill switch would be able to be remotely activated should such a drastic action ever be required. The switch applies to the latest EUV machines out of ASML. These are also some of the most complicated, expensive, and sizable chip-making machines around today. The machines themselves have taken years to develop and even longer to actually implement, though are now responsible for producing the most intricate and powerful computer chips today. TSMC is actually spinning up this type of manufacturing facility here in the States. So at least it'll be an ongoing concern if something does happen, at least in that sense.
Right.
But really, I think Taiwan should just be left the hell alone to do what it needs to do to persist. It's been doing a bang up job. Concerns over Taiwan's national security are what have ultimately led to increased spending in, well, that's what I just got done saying, in chip making facilities in the US and Europe. The CHIPS Act in the US has agreed to pay huge sums to today's largest chip makers, including TSMC, Intel, and Samsung, in order to attract fab facilities Those are fabrication. They refer to them as fab, but
Oh,
fabrication.
I was like, are they cool?
They're really awesome style. To be built, maintained, and expanded on U.S. soil. It seems to be working too. So yeah. So this is the latest, if I remember right, this is the latest device that does the chip manufacturing process. And this actually up here, these are silicon wafers. They're typically discs like records. And
Oh, okay.
then on them, the lithography takes place to essentially carve out the chip. Um, and it's a very complex clean room type of thing, like level 5 clean room. Like biology clean rooms have nothing on this stuff. Um, but it's apparently pretty amazing technology. Let's keep going though, unless you want to say something about it. I mean, it's all politically charged.
I don't know what to add to this one, although I think this is pretty alarming. The fact that this even is a thing is pretty alarming. But
Yeah, I mean, we're so close to this dystopian presence looming over several countries. So everything old is new again. Go look at what happened around the early 30s, folks. Next article is over in the Hatch Ideas channel. Liquid Death is giving away a functional $400,000 fighter jet or a briefcase full of $250,000 in cash. And the contest is taking place between now and September 4th.
would you rather have the fighter jet or the cash?
I would rather have the cash, mainly because what the hell would I do with a fighter jet? I couldn't sell it legally.
Right, the fighter jet is like almost like a novelty, but the cash would be practical.
Yeah, the HOA would have a problem with it.
It's
Nicholas
true.
Vega. Yeah, I would. I don't know if somebody were to. No, no, no. If I got $250,000 cash and it was the post-tax equivalent of the 400,000, then yeah. But if I was given that fighter jet, then I would sell it like immediately and offset the taxable burden with the cash that comes, because it sucks. You'd end up with about $250,000 um, after taxes. Plus, you'd have to wait and find somebody that wants to buy this damn jet. You'd have to pay the fees for it to be holding, on a
There'd
lot
probably be a
somewhere.
limited market.
Yep. Canned Water brand on Tuesday announced a contest that'll see it give away a $400,000 jet to one of its fans. A custom painted Aero L39C Albatross has been dubbed the dehydrator because its thrust will relieve you of your bodily fluids and make you empty your stomach. Nice. So Liquid
Hmm.
Death basically makes, um,
So
yeah,
that's the tie-in, right?
yeah,
That
they
hydrates you.
they make drinks. Yeah. Um, I've had their water. Guess what? Tastes like water. I've had their other stuff. Guess what? It tastes like other stuff. Yeah. I don't. I think that it tastes great, but I don't want to keep on buying containers. So I'd rather buy a reusable container. And so if Liquid Death would sell like a reusable container,
Oh, right, right, like
um,
a flask or something.
yeah, then I would buy that. And if they sold flavor drops, then I would buy that. But I don't want to keep on buying stuff and then you have to recycle it, but that's still a carbon footprint that's bigger. So the T
True, it's
two
better not to have it to begin with.
right. So the two-seater aircraft can travel up to 470 miles per hour. The winner will be responsible for any expenses related to owning and operating the jet, including fuel and hiring a pilot if they don't have a license to fly the plane. And they parked this thing somewhere other than my backyard, so I guess it's going to be a problem.
I mean, I don't know where you're gonna go with this thing. I guess you know what? If you get this, maybe you could buy the property that we featured on another show that had its own like airstrip and everything.
Yeah, see, I was thinking about that too. I think you're right. That's what but you'd have to sell the jet to buy the
Well, that's true.
property.
There is that problem.
The six-figure contest is a reference to Pepsi's ill-fated jet giveaway in the 1990s, which resulted in a lawsuit and spawned a Netflix docuseries.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, they don't say the title in the URL, but the title is 814-466-26. Almost sounds like a phone number, but it's not. All right, let's keep going though. The next article, and we're about halfway through the show now. It's over in ohmTown Daily. Huge wild animal takes over town, becomes viral sensation in the process. At
Okay,
first,
what do you think it is?
I thought that
Or
they were going
did
to
you
talk
think it
about
was?
me, but I don't know where it is. So let's see.
Well, I've actually looked ahead, but when I first saw this, I thought, oh, it must be like a cute bear or something.
Moose.
Oh
No.
no.
Oh no. Okay, let's continue on then. So one resident remained fond of the animal despite it doing over $10,000 worth of damage to his house. A local told Newsweek. Dear God. Enormous seal?
I mean, is this what you would have ever guessed if you had like 100 guesses?
Rachel O'Connor over at Newsweek.com put the article together. A huge seal did $10,000 damage to somebody's property?
I think it's funnier that the seal is just hanging out. Like, you're not coming through this way.
Ooh. And they have like this like board strapped to a Land Rover or something. They're trying to what, push this thing somewhere or block it?
I think they're
Wow.
just driving.
Nobody drives with a big old uh, plywood sheets nailed together on the front of their Land Rover. Okay, so Jason, a traffic controller who lives in Tasmania, Australia, has forged a friendship with the giant seal after he made a rural town outside the city of Hobart his home. The internet has crowned an unlikely new social media star, an enormous elephant seal called Neil. There he is. A May 5th video shows the southern elephant seal flopping along on dry ground, following Jason as he walks home. You can't come with us, Neil, Jason says, before the seal stops dead in his tracks. I know you're lonely here, but you just can't come, bud. I'd love to take you home, Jason adds. All right. So,
Yeah, where is the water? One of the comments.
why is nobody talking about how a seal is in the middle of a forest?
Right, isn't that the main takeaway?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's do this live. Um, oh, no, it's right on the edge of a waterway.
Oh, okay, we just can't really see that from the
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, depending on where it is, like where that residence is, um, Hobart is right on the River Derwent. Um, and that runs all the way up to, well, yeah, it's quite expansive and ends up out into open ocean. So, yeah, it's really close to the ocean too. I mean, yeah, just a little bit further down, and you're basically you go one way and you got forest. You got go the other way and you've got a river. Anyway, Neil appears to be quite large, yet not fully grown. An adult male southern elephant seal can weigh up to 8,800 pounds and reach 20 feet in size.
Uh, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what I think it would be like anything else, like a large animal blocking the road or something. You'd be like, well, I'm not going through.
Jason first met Neil while working on December 11th. Neil the seal decided to swim up out of the water, walk up the boat ramp, stood right up to my face, and gave me a big burp. Yeah.
Okay,
So
as one does.
yeah, this is they spent months foraging at sea before returning to the town he now calls home. So this is Neil. Despite the disruption and property damage he's caused, many residents still find him cool, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. That's pretty funny, though.
There's some
Neil the
pretty
Seal.
crazy things that go on in Australia,
Yeah.
at least for wildlife.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But the only thing I remember from Australia is Crocodile Dundee.
Oh,
That's
I
normal
was
life.
thinking of the snakes that are like weighing down the trees and the roofs and
Oh yeah, and everything wants to
everything.
kill the
Right,
humans.
right.
Yeah. So PC gaming. The next article is over in Warcrafters. That's one of our shows that we actually do on the weekends. And we do 6 additional shows on top of ohmTown Daily News Show, and those shows are split on Saturday and Sunday. Warcrafters is one of them. Four Wheel Tech is another one of them. But um, keep watching the show daily, and you'll find out about them all. The intent, by the way, is to bring all 50 shows to Twitch and then YouTube and the podcast all in one. There's a Patreon that you can subscribe to. We have a Discord for each one of the shows. Yeah, there's 50 of them. So if you want to be a host or co-host, get in touch. Send an email to mayor@ohmtown.com expressing your interest, and we will work out the specifics. So, PC gaming is growing faster than consoles. Data shows last year the release of some of the biggest and highly rated, really big and highly rated video games. However, new data shows that PC gaming was the biggest winner in 2023, while console revenue mostly flatlined and mobile games profits dropped. I think it's because people really like the utility across the board of PC gaming. And I hope that it actually causes VR to be taken seriously more. It's growing by leaps and bounds too. So don't let the naysayers that say that that's not happening, but because it is, particularly when you do the accounting properly. But this article is over at Kotaku.com by Zach Zweisen. The deck statement says last year, thanks to games like Baldur's Gate 3, PC gaming made more money than in 2022, which accounts
Well, I
wise,
mean, are there more gamers? Are there more games released? Are the prices going up?
I think that it's a combination of oh gosh. I think it's a combination of a bunch of things here. There's more people that bought a computer because of the pandemic and are looking for entertainment. The games have increased in price, so the revenue from that is going to be higher than years before. And there are extremely popular platforms like Steam that make it frictionless to get a game. So that said, the quality has gone up. I'm not looking at you, Ubisoft, and from there, it's basically people don't want to spend $500 or however much it is for a console now, and then $70 on a game that's only beholden to that one location, that one console. You can't go anywhere
Right,
else. You
that's
can't
true.
use it on a friend's PC. You have to use a console.
Right, I guess on Steam, right? You could probably log in as long as you had a computer somewhere, you could log in with your account. And
Yep.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. So the recently recently my goodness, a recently released report from market researcher at Newzoo revealed that compared to 2022, 2023 was a recovery year for the game industry, with most profits across most platforms back up to normal after the pandemic-based rise and fall a few years ago. However, the platform has recovered the most, the PC platform has recovered the most and saw the biggest increase in revenue was traditional PC gaming. Again, they're talking about increase in revenue. Games have gone up in price. Services have
Right,
gone up in price. So revenue is going to go up in price because the costs to operate haven't necessarily gone up. So the margins have increased and profitability has increased. Overall revenue has increased. Should be noted that mobile and console gaming profits are still bigger overall than PC. And Newzoo estimating that 2023's total mobile gaming revenue landed at around just shy of $90 billion, and consoles were at 52.4. Meanwhile, PC is at 39 billion.
Wow. I mean, all prices are going up on pretty much everything, but there's a lot of money going toward gaming.
Yeah. And I think the biggest problem here is that they're touching on the edge, the precipice of what the real issue is. These consoles require you to have their account, and you get locked into their ecosystem. Um, and so it has limited utility. You can't do computing on a console. Um, I don't even know if they've extended it to allow you to surf the web yet. I I just haven't talked to anybody about that aspect. So I don't know.
Right. And then, I mean, yeah, I mean, that alone might steer you toward PC, but
But then you're stuck in that ecosystem, much like Apple. It's a vertical. So when you buy something for PlayStation, it's not going to work on Xbox. If you buy something for Xbox, it's not going to work anywhere else. You have to play it on the Xbox if the software is only on the Xbox. And then you have to buy it for PC if you want to play it on PC, if the license is pegged to the console and not across wherever. Usually it's not like that. You can't just move it wherever you want and play the game, which I think is bullshit. You are the one person, so why do you have to buy multiple licenses everywhere you go, and you can't sell it? So kiss my shiny metal ass. Anyway, so sure, consoles aren't going away tomorrow. The article says, but in a few years, as cloud streaming becomes more popular, no, that'll no. But portable PCs like the Steam Deck, yes, I can see. M4 Apple devices are juggernauts now. I can see PCs doing the same thing. Some innovative chipset comes out for a portable PC device that doesn't suck all the power, like a necromancer. It doesn't just suck all the life from around it, and last only a couple of hours. Then I can see a portable PC like the Steam Deck or
right. But
the
then you can still do computing and
right,
you can still be mobile, etc.
yeah, which is basically like a slab or a slate PC or a tablet PC, but it's a PC with a full-on operating system. And when it comes to full operating systems, folks shy the hell away from Chromebooks and cloud books and all of that garbage. No, it just doesn't work. Spend the extra $200 and get a real baseline PC with a real operating system in it. Okay. I'll go on to the next article. Sorry for the silence. I jumped on my soapbox and had to climb back
You
down.
had to dismount, right?
Yeah. And of course, one of the judges only gave me a 3 out of the 10 for the dismount. I
I
know.
mean, come on.
Bastards. Anyway, the next article is over in ohmTown Daily. McDonald's is giving away free chicken nuggets, and here's how to get them. A new deal comes on the heels of the fast food industry trying to fight inflation costs. So all you have to do is sacrifice your firstborn to the chicken god.
I'm not sure that's what's required.
No, that's not. So Monica Sager over at Newsweek.com put the article together. Customers will receive the free nuggets on Wednesday when ordering through the McDonald's app. You can get a 6-piece chicken McNuggets for free. To get the 6-piece meal, or deal, sorry, get the 6-piece deal. It's not a meal, it's just the deal. Download the app, join the My McDonald's Rewards program. No purchases necessary. The customers can add their favorite dipping sauce to the order. I just went through a drive-through the other day getting food for somebody else and then cracking under the pressure of a cheeseburger because I haven't had a cheeseburger in months. And on the window, it said You get one dipping sauce, and every dipping sauce after that is 40 cents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I almost
What
didn't
about
want
all
to.
the times that you don't get it, though? Like, they're not decreasing the price.
Look, when you live in dystopia, it's like a wet wipe from whatchamacallit. Um, oh, what was that? I was going to say My Cousin Vinny, but the dude that's blind and going from one side of the world to the other with the Bible that is in Braille,
Oh, the Book of Eli. I
the Book
forgot
of
about
Eli.
the
Yeah.
blindness.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I couldn't get E. coli out of my head. So I didn't want to just drop that out
I
there
hate
without
when that happens.
the context. Anyway, the free 6-piece chicken McNuggets offer is valid for just Wednesday and only at participating restaurants across the U.S. So there's the Golden Arches. Yeah.
I
So
mean, if everything costs a gazillion, I would think people would really go for something like this.
so everybody go out there, join this thing, get your free McNuggets, and donate it to somebody that needs food. Because 6 nuggets may not help you, but it can certainly help people around you. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna see if I can actually do this, do exactly that. But I'm already
Eh,
on the My McDonald's rewards thing, so it may not allow me to do it
when is that tomorrow?
tomorrow. Yep. So I'll get this show posted today. And our last article for today is over in Four Wheel Tech. Yes, one of our other shows. Mazda CX-5 Hybrid coming later this year with new in-house powertrain. Dun dun dun. So Jonathan Ramsey over at autoblog.com put the article together. There's 24 photos for this vehicle. Um, so the reason why I'm highlighting this is because I like Mazda. I like their quality control. I like their design. I like the lines of their cars, and now I like their hybrid. I like the idea of their hybrid, and it's one of the few that I have seen that the turbocharged version of this actually apparently is going to hit a 256 horsepower, or is that only the CX5? Because it says the CX5 only fits the 2.5 liter in our market. But before we get there, let me just say, um, Mazda CX-5 continues to sell in substantial numbers, according to the article. They missed their mark by 1,000 units in 2014, but they've sold 100,000, more than 100,000 units annually since 2015. They haven't sold less than 145,000 since 2018. With all of all of these issues with range anxiety and battery bullshit, um, circling around pure battery EVs, a hybrid is the best of both worlds. So Mazda already has PHEVs in the lineup, the CX-90, 70 PHEV. They already knew about the CX-50 hybrid was inbound. That powertrain comes from Toyota and will be used in the hybrid, RAV4 hybrid. Car and Driver reported we should expect details in June, but Mazda debuted the CX-50 HEV in China a year ago. The basic setup being a 2.5 liter four-cylinder and a 2 electric motor, 219 horsepower combined output, just like in the Toyota. Mazda builds our CX-50 in the Alabama plant. It jointly owns with Toyota. Toyota builds the Corolla Cross Hybrid. Mazda's distinguishing PHEV and hybrid in the report suggests that the CX-50 won't be a plug-in, a move that would maintain a kind of technology parity with the CX-50, and that would keep the lid on pricing. So it says the CX-5 hybrid is an in-house production expected to be based around Mazda Skyactiv four-cylinder. But then it changes to say the CX-5, but it doesn't mention hybrid.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
So it says the CX5 only fits the 2.5 liter in our market. It's thought the new hybrid will stick with that displacement. So if that's true, the naturally aspirated version starts at over $30,000, just over $30,000, and makes 187 horsepower. So that'll be fine, as long as the electric motors um, augment that to give it startup boost instead of having to wait
Right.
for a turbo, right? But um, a turbocharged version of it makes 256 horsepower. So it gives you the get up and go at $30,000 that other hybrids don't get until they're around the 50,000 to 60,000 price point, at least in my
So this is
recollection.
probably a good price for what it offers.
So I'm suspecting that the turbocharged version is probably going to be around 35 to 36,000, which to me makes sense. If it starts getting into 42,000, it's already out of its scale. So um, they're going to reveal it later this year, but it probably won't come until 2025, 2026, but hopefully 2025.
I
So
forgot when new cars are typically offered. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the fall.
yeah, and they're named for the next year.
But right, right.
So there you have it. Thanks, Jonathan Ramsey, for putting the article together. Follow the links through ohmTown over to these sources. Um, that would be great. Sorry, my brain just kind of went blank. But as usual, we're going to jump into the nearest vehicle because the party bus ran out of juice. It has a Tesla sled, so its battery died because we didn't put it in car wash mode,
That's right.
and we got it wet. I mean, it's like the
I
Wicked
was
Witch of the
thinking there was
West.
like a recall or something, but yeah.
I'm melting. Anyway, we're all gonna do like the clowns in a car kind of a thing. We're gonna stuff all of us into the Mazda CX-5 hybrid, and then just gun it and race down Main Street until we get to the welcome sign, looking left and right at all of the articles that we've discussed.
Are we gonna max out the torque?
We're gonna max out that torque, baby. So we're done for tonight. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. I am Merwat, and the co-host is the sentient AI from the future that tries to keep me out of trouble.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Unless there's a coronal mass ejection.